Welcome back to Bright Ideas from Acuity Brands on IndustrialSage. Social media is not just sharing pictures of your food and watching funny cat videos. It is an important tool to market your company and reach your customers. It is definitely not going away, only evolving and growing. Today I'm joined by Allie Smith, the manager of social media at Acuity Brands. Allie, before we get into paid versus organic, let's just start with some basics. What is it like to run a corporate profile versus a personal profile?
Thanks, Catherine. So first and foremost, the biggest thing to know is that everyone thinks they know what it takes to run a corporate profile, but there's so much more that goes into it than just running your personal. So you have to really understand that with the corporate presence, it's not just posting anymore. There's a lot of research that goes into it. It's understanding who your audience is, knowing when they're online and the best times to post and what they engage with. And from there, developing your different content specific to those wants and needs across those different channels.
So what are some of the best practices that a corporate profile owner can use to amplify a social presence?
The first best practice is knowing that a good post starts with good copy. You want to make sure that you're engaging the user in as few words as possible. So if you think about the way that you scroll on social media or I scroll on social media, it's mindless. We're going fast. So you want to make sure that you grab their attention, and that attention should be within about 5 seconds or you lose them.
Right, that definitely connects with that content is king story I've always heard. But what about the visuals? Because you said scrolling through, and the visuals are what's catching my eye.
Yeah, so visuals may actually be the most important piece when it comes to social media, because again, we're scrolling so fast. You just want to make sure that you are really capturing their attention. So the key is to have a good balance between your text and the image itself. You also want to make sure you're avoiding stock photos if you can, just to become more authentic, as well as avoiding those white backgrounds, because you'll notice on social media accounts, the feed itself is actually white. So you want to remove that white background from your image so you avoid blending in. And then from a video perspective, just knowing that, users, their attention span is smaller. We want to make sure that the videos are 30 seconds or less, keeping that most important stuff within the first 10 seconds itself. But remembering your visuals and messaging can be different across all the platforms and nuanced based on that.
So right, yeah, there are so many different platforms you can use for social media, and they're all a bit nuanced. Can we talk a little bit about one of the main platforms, Facebook? What should a corporate account holder keep in mind when they're using Facebook?
So sure, Facebook, look at this as your more playful platform. This allows you really to highlight your company, its culture, and the people. I say it over and over again, but people love people. So you want to make sure that any projects that you're working on or partnerships that you make or form, you're highlighting the people behind that and really just humanizing your company.
And what about Twitter? What are some of the differences there?
So Twitter, this is going to be more of your breaking news platform. People see Twitter as a news platform as much as they see it as social media. So this is going to be great for interacting with your followers, but also promoting your website content and industry-related topics as well.
Okay, and you mentioned the keyword news there, news about your company and everything. I thought news also worked well on LinkedIn, news about your company. Is that not true? Is there a difference there?
No, you're absolutely correct. So LinkedIn should be looked at as your industry network. The biggest difference is that your posts are actually going to be going to a professional network. So your content should really reflect that. However, when you are posting, you want to make sure that you're coming off as helpful, not so salesy. And that's really just the biggest key to keep in mind when posting across LinkedIn.
So is there anything else, those are all really good tips, from the visuals to the content, that they're nuanced content per platform. Is there anything else that companies can do to organically promote their content before they move into paid?
Absolutely. So I can't stress it enough, but it's really important to get your employees excited and on board with social media as a whole. Word of mouth is huge, and just by kicking off an ambassador program that encourages your employees to share company content can really go a long way for your brand.
So for someone who's looking to engage more with their company profile on social, what should they know before they get started on that journey?
So first things first, update your profile. As much as we love seeing it, take your dog out of your picture. Make sure your photo is professional and that you're looking at the camera. You also have the chance to kind of make your profile more personal, especially on LinkedIn with a background image. It allows you to show your personality or provide a branding opportunity as well. You also want to make sure that you're updating your summary right there. Like that's your key to sell yourself. So tell us, the key projects you worked on, specialties, or any experiences you deem necessary.
So we've covered a lot of good pieces of information, things to consider when they're putting together their content and their visuals. Allie, is there one or two things that a corporation should consider when they're getting started?
Well, I think the first thing is just to recognize that it's a lot more work than you think it is. You want to at least have one person that's fully dedicated and committed to researching your audience to build the content that really drives the best engagement. And then finally, don't try and tackle all the channels at once. Start with a platform that you think will engage your audience the most and just start building from there.
Thank you, Allie, for joining us today. Some really great insights for anyone wanting to use social media to reach their customers. Join us next time. We are going to look at some new and innovative marketing tools that brands are starting to use to virtually engage with their products.